Greetings and welcome, colonists, to another episode of Let's Do a Level of Outpost 2 Divided Destiny, the Plymouth Campaign Mission 8, Recoil. Action's convoy disappeared into the Badlands as thoroughly as it had never existed. In the weeks after the raid in the Gulag, continued bad weather interfered with any search, and ongoing retaliatory strikes from Eden prevented it sending out any vehicles. Shortly thereafter, the colony was forced by the advance of the Blight to relocate, and with that disappeared any hope of finding Axon. It was some comfort to Emma that Eden, well, probably having as much trouble locating him, and she had to hope that Axon would be found when Axon wanted to be found. As for the moment, Emma had more pressing concerns. Plymouth's delay-plagued space program was finally about to bear fruit. Work on a launch facility had begun before the relocation, and with the colony operational on its new site, the launch gantry was already beginning to rise on the edge of the colony. Soon, work would begin on the launch vehicle, and the satellite had to be ready for its test flight. Emma's team had been assigned to develop the Blight detection package for the spacecraft, and to incorporate such intelligence gathering functions into the vehicle as space, weight, and power allowed. This was in addition to their regular intelligence gathering functions, of course. Emma had never been more sure of her decisions to keep a bunk in the lab, and several of the other scientists were soon doing the same. The pressure had taken its toll on all of them. They had become testy and irritable. Arguments over small problems and petty differences had become common, and thus Emma wasn't in the most receptive mood when Councillor Kozu arrived in the lab unannounced. Emma was trying to get a bulky Gnosis set computer to function while connected to the satellite's energy management system. It wasn't going well, and she wasn't about to stop her work for any visitor. "Elder," said Kozu, "I can see you're busy and I'm sorry to interrupt, but the colony leadership has a favor to ask of you." Emma chuckled as she leaned over to check a waveform displayed on her clipcom. "Sure, in my copious free time." She gave him a look that made him flinch just a bit. "With a follow-up test of the satellite system scheduled in 3 days, and I can't get this damned computer to talk to my instrument package, or sometimes to run it all." "The satellite is certainly a colony priority, but we have something related to your intelligence activities. Something I think nobody else in the colony is as well qualified to do." She jiggled the power connector and checked the waveform again. "More important than this satellite?" He nodded. "Just possibly. Eden has contacted us and wishes to negotiate a treaty." She stood bolt upright. "What?" "They say that an accident has damaged their human gene bank. They want an agreement that protects our gene bank from damage in combat and allows them to take custody if their starship is completed substantially before ours." "Why would we agree to such a thing?" Kozo looked apologetic. "Frankly, your own intelligence reports show how they are far ahead of us, and our projections of available resources and blight spreads don't paint a positive picture. We may not make it. The Eden leadership has suggested that they would make all possible space available on their starship for our children, and of course, saving the genetic heritage contained in the gene bank is our highest priority." She shook her head in disbelief. "We're giving up?" "We're being realistic and keeping our options open." He sighed. "It sounds like you have this all worked out. Why do you need me?" "We want you to reach a settlement, yes, but the exact terms of protecting the gene bank, or of transfer of the bank and the children, should it become necessary, all this needs to be worked out." Emma's fists clenched on the workbench, the satellite forgotten. Her mind flashed to other possibilities, desperate plans that she'd never dared voice before. We could steal their starship. It was Kozu's turn to be shocked. "Perhaps," she continued, "we could even send our spiders in and reprogram their rockets on the pad, bring them over to our launch complex. The ship in orbit will be defenseless, or close enough, especially if we take out their launch capability." "You're suggesting total war with Eden. If we go that far, there will be no turning back. It would be kill or be killed. It's unthinkable." "I just thought of it, pup, and I can think of a lot more. You've been understanding when I've told you that I have certain intelligence resources in Eden that I cannot reveal. I'm telling you now that information from those sources suggests that these people can't be trusted. This is a trick of some kind. He shook his head sadly. I'm afraid we have to have something more concrete than that. I'm sorry, Elder. If it's any consolation, I tend to agree with you, but the mood of the council and the people doesn't support it. They're tired of running, tired of fighting, tired of war. He looked away. I'll tell them to find someone else to negotiate the treaty. She reached out and grabbed his forearm. No! I mean, when is the first negotiation scheduled? This evening. It's short notice, but go and tell them I'll do it. But I need more time. Give me 24 hours. But Eden, tell them we need more time to gain support for the proposal. Tell them anything, just stall them. If there are no new developments, I'll comply with your wishes, and I'll get us the best treaty I can manage. He seemed hesitant. Do it for me, Pop. Please? Do it for us all. He nodded. She shooed him out of the room and looked back to the open storeroom where her bunk was kept, and at Frost sitting in the middle of the floor. She walked in, closed the door, and sat down next to the computer. Frost, I need to talk to Penati and Eden. Frost's icon appeared on its top panel. There has been no human contact initiated from Eden since our last relocation. Then initiate some. Can you communicate with Craft? I can trace a link to Craft through our normal channels, but just contact in is a high-risk activity. Craft will not initiate contact without human instruction. Would you? It's time to make use of this new assertiveness of yours. Then your job is to persuade Craft otherwise. Do what has to be done, but convince Craft that I must talk to Penati. This may take some time. You've got an hour. Frost said nothing, though the snowflake icon shifted to a pattern that indicated annoyance. Emma sat down on her bunk and leaned back to wait. 58 minutes later, Brooke Penati appeared on Emma's intercom screen. He looked out of breath, and for once wasn't wearing a spacesuit, though he was in a vehicle cab. The vehicle didn't appear to be moving. You should have done something more subtle than having Craft send a repair vehicle to tap on my window. I only set the timeline, not the method of contact. I apologize, but I have an emergency, and you owe me a favor. For killing Axon? He frowned. I'm sorry, it probably wasn't your fault. Axon isn't dead. His frown turned into a big smile and he leaned closer to the camera. Is he there? They told us he was killed. He isn't here. Actually, I don't know how much I should tell you. Penati nodded. You're right. Don't tell me anything. I've been followed lately. They suspect me. That's why I haven't contacted you. I'm taking a huge risk right now, breaking into a garage to find a vehicle. He wrinkled his nose. It's complicated and irrelevant. We may not have that much time. What can I do for you? Eden wants to negotiate a treaty to gain access to our gene bank. They say yours was damaged in an accident, and if their ship is ready first, they want to take it, along with our children with them. Penati looked shocked and outraged. There was no fragging accident. The Masters destroyed our human gene bank, and it was intentional. They believe they can create a master race without it. Though they're in control, there's a strong resistance movement. If they can destroy your gene bank, they will make any debate useless. You can't let them near it. I don't want to, but our leaders are caving in. I need something to take them, some hard evidence, and I don't have much time. He looked at the camera blankly. I don't know what I can give you. I don't suppose they take my word for it. She shook her head. I don't know if I can even reveal your existence without destroying my own credibility. And even if I could, they'd have no special reason to trust you. I need proof of their hostile intentions. He thought for a minute. I don't know of anything. As I said, I've had to keep a low profile recently. I'm out of the loop. She considered the situation. It seemed hopeless. Then an idea struck her. She'd never mentioned her other contact in Eden to Penati, in part because she didn't know whom she could trust, and in part because keeping them separate offered some redundancy. If one source was caught or cut off, the other might continue to feed information. But desperate times call for. I have another contact in Eden, someone who has provided us with useful information through another channel. I don't know if you can trust him, but he may have information we can use, and I have no other way of contacting him. Penati looked surprised but interested. Do you know a scientist named Eldon Jensen? Penati nodded. He's been a somewhat reluctant information source in the past. He smiled and chuckled. Didn't know Eldon had it in him. A spy at heart after all. As I said, I don't know if you can trust him. My gut says I can. I'm willing to risk it anyway. Good. I have less than 24 hours. I'll get back to you in one way or another. He blinked and cleared his throat. Unless, of course, I don't. The distraction from the interminable waiting was offered when a lightning raid by Eden forces struck right by the cluster of lab structures. The combat units had rolled through, taken out a guard post and a few Plymouth combat units, damaged a building or two and then charged away as quickly as they'd come. Emma, Wu and the others had barely made it to the shelters before the all-clear sounded. Well, that was annoying, said Wu. Johnson laughed. That's one way of putting it. Emma just thought about the gene bank currently on the lock and key in Lab 4 and shuddered. What kind of monsters would choose that as a target? Would throw away everything that was humanity was? She couldn't understand it, although if the negotiations went on, she might have a chance to find out. They strolled back into their lab and began to clean up their hastily dropped projects. Mel went into her quarters and was removing the armored blast cover she'd placed over Frost when she heard Wu calling her frantically from the other room. She tossed the cover aside and ran in to join him. We stood over a console display. We got a message in off the satellite while we were in the shelter. Short and data only. It says, Penati here now. Spy in Plymouth now. Protect Gene Bank. Good luck. Jensen. She stared at him. Great maker. The raid. It could have been a covered drop off a saboteur. Woo. Alert Citizen Patrol. She hesitated. They may not believe you. Use my name. See if Elder still carries any clout. She gestured at the other scientist. Spread out. Check all the airlocks around the labs. Look for signs of forced entry and report anything you find. I'm going to check on the gene bank. She started for the door and then ran back to her quarters and removed a sidearm from a locked cabinet. A souvenir from the raid on the Gulag. Never fired. She jammed the gun in her pocket and ran for the door. She reached Lab 4. To reach Lab 4, she had to run down a ramp through two tunnel junctions and back up another ramp. She was winded by the time she got there, but she couldn't slow down. Safety locks seemed to take forever to respond to her code and cycle open. She slipped inside. The place seemed deserted. Perhaps the scientists working here hadn't yet returned from their shelters. The gene bank was in a locked room at the end of the building, but it seemed wise to check everything along the way. She peeked into each room and lab in turn. Halfway down the corridor she found the first body. Emma recognized the woman slumped over the blank bench, blood running down the side of her head and covering a clip comb that lay under her. Emma touched her neck looking for a pulse, but didn't find one. Frag. 2 doors down she found another man face down on the floor. This one was breathing, but there was no time for first aid. She had to hope that the citizen patrol would be close behind her. She decided to take a direct route to where the gene bank was stored, then backtrack if necessary. She moved quietly to the last turn in the corridor, then peered carefully around the corner. The man was tall with a pencil-thin mustache, was working intently on the storeroom with an electronic device. He wore a Plymouth pressure suit, but Emma wasn't fooled. She clutched the pistol in her hand and jumped from her hiding place. Freeze! Get away from that door! The man turned slowly, hands up, and threw the electronic lockpick at her face. She ducked to one side to avoid it, but before she could recover, the man was charging her. He knocked her arms up, the gun went off harmlessly into the ceiling and flew out of her hands. She was thrown back against the wall and the man's momentum carried him past her. She stuck out a foot in front of him and pushed. He stumbled, not quite falling. It was her turn to rush, taking advantage of his off-balance state to grab his elbow and forehand, twisting him behind his back and propelling him forward against the far wall. He crashed face first into the panel and Emma threw her weight against his arm. He struggled, but she pulled his forearm up, twisting the joint against his natural motion. He yelped in pain. She let off just a little, then pushed again to remind him who was in charge. Move! and I'll break your arm like a pretzel stick. Move, and I'll break your arm like a pretzel stick. She could hear voices down the corridor, probably Citizen Patrol. "What's a pretzel?" asked the man. Emma sat in her chair and looked at the screen on the wall beyond the conference table. The blonde woman there looked harmless enough, even pleasant. Looks could deceive. The woman smiled and introduced herself. "My name is Dr. Echo Vendosier. I'm the acting chair of Eden Colony. It is a pleasure to meet you, Elder Burke." "You as well," said Emma with false sincerity. "It gives the enemy a face." Vendosier settled back in her chair, as though expecting a long session. "Now, about the gene bank." Emma smiled back. The smile was genuine. "The gene bank is just fine. No thanks to your friend here." She glanced out of camera range. "Bring him in." A pair of Citizen Patrol officers escorted a handcuffed spy into camera range. Later, when things were going especially bad, Emma would replay the recording of the expression on Vendosier's face as a way of cheering herself up. Emma leaned towards the camera. "There will be no negotiations today, or ever, unless you are offering terms of surrender of Eden. Let us be noticed that we will know exactly what you are, and exactly what you stand for, and that no quarter will be given to stop you from achieving your goal. Forces are aligning against you, both from without and within. You will not stand. Good day." She pressed the button on the wrist link to cut off the transmission. The spy just looked at her smiling. Then he laughed, and continued to laugh as they took him away. She slumped in her chair and the facade of confidence slid away. Today had been so close to disaster. She only prayed to Toolmaker that they'd be able to make good on her threats. I hope so too. Alright, let's get into the mission proper. Commander, the attack on our research base has shown that remote bases will be difficult to defend. Oh, no duh. A centralized colony will not stretch our defensive resources along a too large an area. We've established a new location based on this strategy. Further analysis of the Blight has confirmed our deepest fears. It cannot be stopped. New Terra is doomed. To survive, we must once again take to the stars. The construction of our starship has become our highest priority. We must build a spaceport and launch our Skydock to begin construction in orbit. This effort will require large quantities of metals. Our new location is near several potential mining sites that will help in this effort. We believe we can carry about 200 colonists on the starship. Leaving people behind would be another avoidable tragedy for our colony. So be careful managing our population growth. Idle the nursery and university as needed to slow down the birth rate. We cannot absorb any delays in our starship construction. The Blight is spreading at an increasing rate. We have no margin for error. Do not let any threats from Eden hamper our efforts. Be prepared to defend our base against any incursions. Our schedule is difficult, and our needs are great. Alright. That's fairly simple objectives. I'm sure some more will be added as we go forward. So let's start. But first of all, I've got to comment on how this base always seems to be designed by monkeys. Because we have a food deficit. What the F?
Caution. Food storage diminishing.
And that wouldn't be so bad if, you know, the game actually warned me about that.
Power levels optimal.
In a way that makes sense. But they have less than 1,000 food at the start. That means they forgot about this on purpose. But oh well. Let's get our units into it.
Terrible.
Yeah, I know. Alright, let's get some research going. Efficiency engineering. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. And let's get smelter post-processing. Well, as soon as I get some more people. And I can get more people. Alright, let's get another residence. Alright, we also have rare ore down here that we will need to activate.
Structure completed.
And let's set up some
Production in
defenses over
surplus.
here. Now let's check out that mine over here. Alright, crisis avoided. But I will want another common ore smelter because this is a good deposit that I want to exploit. Right,
Mining location surveyed.
let's get another
Morale
robo-dozer.
is fair.
Yeah, see? Very good mine. Of course, this will be more difficult to defend, but the enemy should always be coming from the left here.
Vehicle ready. Wall completed.
Alright. Anything else?
Structure completed. Power levels optimal.
Alright, that should take care of our housing for now. Let's get the Arachnid factory online.
Wall completed.
Right.
Structure kit manufactured. Structure disabled. Alert. Electrical storm imminent.
Right.
Wall completed.
And now we will get constantly strafed by enemy problems.
Morale is poor.
Yeah.
Warning. Electrical storm detected.
I'm working on it. Let's get some
Structure completed.
MHD generators.
Wall completed.
So we'll need more power.
Research completed.
Way more power.
Food production in surplus. Morale is fair.
I'll put it over here. Right. Smelter post-processing, please. Get severe atmospheric disturbances because I want to know where the strikes are coming.
Structure kit manufactured.
And we'll probably need another medical facility. Yeah, definitely. Now this refinery setup is annoying because the trucks
Vortex
keep going in a loop, which is neat, but completely
Structure kit manufactured.
inconvenient.
Power levels optimal.
Alright, let's run the cabling. Ah, here comes the first Eden strike.
Structure disabled. Bulldozing completed. Our colony is under attack. We are under attack. Research completed.
Let's get enhanced defensive fortifications. We'll need stronger guard posts. And let's fix up the advanced lab before it
Structure
explodes.
completed. Caution. Power levels marginal.
Yep, that
Food production
pretty
in
much
surplus.
is what I expected.
Morale is fair. Research completed. Tube completed.
Alright.
Vehicle ready.
And now to extend the tube over there.
Structure repaired.
We will need loads of materials. Let's get the spaceport going.
completed. Structures disabled. Warning. Power shortage. Morale is poor.
Reinforced Panther construction.
Structures disabled. Vehicle ready.
And let's get some spiders on the road.
Alert. Seismic event imminent.
Alright, let's get the MHD generator
Alert.
online.
Electrical storm imminent. Warning. Seismic event detected. Spider ready. Tube completed. Structures disabled. Morale is terrible. Vehicle ready. Research completed. Warning. Electrical storm detected. Caution. Food storage diminishing.
Already?
Structure kit manufactured. Bulldozing completed.
By how much? Only 4. We can last that for a little bit.
Structure kit manufactured.
Let's get another MHD, which is a little bit more reliable than these tokamaks. Right, let's also get a bit of a wall up here. Let's get you out of the way. Right, medical center. Because currently I'm nowhere near the cap yet.
Warning. Power shortage.
I'm working on it.
Alert. Vortex imminent. Structure kit manufactured. Research completed.
Alright, I need some stuff that makes people happy, so let's get a Gorf.
Warning. Vortex detected.
Alright, let's get some damage resistant housing.
Power levels optimal.
Let's get the
We are
sky
under
dock.
attack.
I can probably capture that,
Production in surplus.
if it's only by himself.
Structure kit manufactured. Structure completed. Structure disabled. Caution. Food storage diminishing. Research completed. Wall completed.
Alright,
Morale is poor.
the multi-tainment console thing.
Food production in surplus. Structure repaired.
And let's get some more Panther EMPs.
We are under attack. Morale is fair. Vehicle ready. Research completed. Vehicle captured.
There. All mine. Let's get the spaceport going. Get some more scientists. Alright, the MHG generator. I have no idea how it works. At least with the thermal vents I can sort of understand, because that's just geothermal power, but the MHG? No clue. Total science fiction in my opinion.
Morale is good. Power levels optimal. New worker ready.
Alright, let's get the spaceport connected to the dirt over here.
Wall completed.
Right. And let's
Alert. Seismic event imminent.
get you hooked up to the grid.
Morale is fair. Alert. Electrical storm imminent. Bulldozing completed. Warning. Seismic event detected. Vehicle destroyed.
Oh, you bastards! You absolute bastards!
Warning. Electrical storm detected. Food production in surplus.
And granted, I should have seen that coming, but still, that was a dick move, game.
Research completed.
Right. Let's get arachnid durability, because they do break quite quickly.
Spider ready.
Alright, spider maintenance software upgrade, definitely. Because my outposts are starting to get a little bit worn thin.
Meteor approaching.
And that hurts. It does seem like the game is trying to break me. Alright, let's get a Gorf.
Structure repaired. Alert. Vortex imminent.
Alright, that's luckily not that close. Alright, we got more incoming.
2 completed. Power levels optimal. Common metal storage needed.
Well, at least that's a good problem to have.
Vortex detected.
Oh,
Structure repaired.
they're going south.
Morale is good. 2 completed. Research completed. Structure completed. New worker ready. We are under attack. Morale is fair. Our colony is under attack.
Right. You can get out of there. You fix that.
New worker ready.
Alright, let's get the Edward satellite built. We no longer have to use my surveyors.
Structure repaired.
Alright.
Food production in surplus. Satellite manufactured. New worker ready. Morale is good.
Alright.
Research completed.
SULV.
Structure repaired.
And I could redo with some more. Let's get some Panther ESGs.
Our colony is under attack. Structure repaired. New worker ready.
Alright, launch.
Rocket ready. Damage warning. Rocket launched. Vehicle ready. Edward satellite deployed. We are under attack. Alert. Seismic event imminent.
They are beelining straight for my my spaceport. That's not very nice.
Common metal storage needed.
Alright.
Warning.
SULV.
Seismic event detected. Structure repaired.
Alright, some more Panther ESGs.
Structure repaired.
Alright, let's get high-powered
Morale is fair.
explosives.
Caution. Electrical stormwatch initiated.
And now I can knock down this
Ready.
garage because it's totally in the wrong
Food
location.
storage diminishing. Vehicle ready.
Alright, I was gonna build an acrodome.
Alert. Electrical storm imminent.
Alright,
Wall
you
completed.
stand guard over there. You stand a guard over here.
Bulldozing completed. Warning. Electrical storm detected. Research completed.
Alright. Let's get the fueling systems.
Structure kit manufactured.
Alright, Skydock.
Vehicle ready. Structure completed. Food production in surplus. Our colony is under attack. Alert. Nuclear impact imminent. Research completed. Starship module manufactured. Bulldozing completed. Caution. Vortex watch initiated. Warning. Meteor approaching. Structure repaired. Rocket launched. Skydock operational. Spider ready.
Right.
Alert. Vortex imminent. Power levels optimal. Vehicle destroyed.
That's fine. Not really relying on lynxes to defend my colony.
Structure repaired. Wall completed.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Vortex detected. Vehicle ready. Morale is fair. Our colony is under attack. We are under attack. Morale is good. Structure repaired. Common metal storage needed. Morale is fair.
Alright, that's... You blew up my wall, you bastard! I need that for defense.
Caution. Seismic watch initiated. Structure repaired.
Alright, let's just keep on building stuff, because otherwise I might go insane.
Research completed.
Right, reduced foam evaporation.
Alert. Seismic event
And let's get
imminent.
the
Bulldozing complete.
dual weapon systems, because we'll need that.
Food production in surplus. Rocket ready. Wall completed. We are under attack. Warning. Seismic event detected. Our colony is under attack.
Well, I'm gonna have to put a cut in it here. Thank you all for watching. See you all next episode.